Hello everyone. So we was discussing about the virtualization in our last video. So what we discussed in previous video about the cloud infrastructure, about the virtualization technology, and how cloud computing uh, relating to cloud infrastructure and virtualization. So in this video, we are going to discuss in more detail about the virtualization. I have discussed about the virtualization in last also. So abstraction of resources across many aspects of computing. So one physical machine to support multiple virtual machines that run in parallel. That is the virtualization. So before virtualization, we have already discussed what was the problem. But if we see in the real time, low utilization matrices in servers across the organization. We have lot of servers, but we are not properly utilizing that resources. If we discuss about all the problem assessments like high cost and infrastructure need that we have already discussed, more maintenance for more servers require more maintenance, more space, networking, more floor space, cooling, power, disaster recovery, everything. There are a lot of problems without the virtualization. If we see here, what was the scenario before virtualization? Look here, we have many servers, but if we see here in detail, deeply, so we are using some of the server like 2%, 2%, 24% utilization only, 24%, 2%. So means either for each independent application, we require independent server. But if we calculate the overall 24 into 24, how much? 48 plus 250 means all the server are underutilized and this all task can be accomplished on single server. Without virtualization, this was the problem. All require the same power. Running cost also we can calculate. Same heat, so means more cooling expense, more physical space, setups, reconfiguration again and again, managing them, and maintenance and support. Naturally we require a more support team also that time. Got my point now? So but with virtualization what happened, by using the single server here, when the virtualization come into the scenario, what happened, we can accommodate all the machine on one server. So how much benefit? Maintenance single server will require less manpower to manage that. Naturally less heating generate, less cooling expense. So and now it become CPU utilization proper. Means we can accommodate more machines here till it. More flexibility, rapid provisioning, disaster recovery, high availability. So this become a adaptive data center where total cost of IT get reduced. This was the benefit of virtualization. Hope you understand a little bit why the virtualization come into the scenario. What benefit a company got after virtualization and how it become so easy to manage that server rather than managing hundred of servers. Now that task can be accomplished on 10 servers. So every company that working, naturally cost become the first thing for everything. So more benefit that we are getting here. Like we have single infrastructure server box here. Sorry, it is in a single box. So with that, I'm sorry. When we require one server, we can assign the resources for the one server here. Got it? When we require some more server, from the same box we can generate single second server. More requirement come for a server, we can start third machine on the same box. So here you can see better that without investing on more and more servers, we are properly utilizing our existing resources. It means many other things. Even something goes wrong here. If we want to change the provisioning, you can see here. So if any server require more CPU, more storage, we can assign them from that particular existing resources without shutting down that, without doing any physical change there. We can add more virtual CPU to the server. If something happened wrong, without shutting down, we can put out them and replace with the other one. Means totally depend on here. Totally depend on the configuration and capacity of this infrastructure. We can manage the entire infrastructure here on a single box. So this was the beauty of virtualization. So naturally, highly availability we got after this. If something happened, this particular server require more storage, more CPU, more RAM. So in the running condition, in the next video, I will show you that also that we can do. I will practically show you the virtualization on VMware. Correct? So naturally, high availability is available. More running time. Up clear? I think this demonstration clear you everything. Logically, I'm showing you practically. If I get some, I will show you the practically also this thing on my VMware. So the research into virtualization, what happened? Reduce the number of physical machine that I was saying. Isolated environment, but shared hardware. Make better use of existing capacity that I keep saying. Virtualized network, storage area network, interface reduce infrastructure need. Ultimately save the maintenance and lease. Ultimately, it saves the maintenance cost, lease space, lease cost, everything it save me. And nowadays, when virtualization becomes so vast, many more options today than ever before. More and more research is going on the virtualization. That's why cloud computing is getting more and more popular nowadays. Because virtualization getting more and more option day by day. Hope interesting? Good. So in the beginning, we discussed one of the thin word, a hypervisor software, also known as virtual machine monitor or VMM, are the critical component that allow multiple virtual machine to run on a single physical machine. With the virtualization, the very first term comes is the hypervisor that working there on the basic hardware that allow us to create multiple virtual machine on a single physical machine. And it is responsible to isolate them from each other. Each virtual machine within a single physical machine isolated from each other. What on another machine is running does not interfere with another virtual machine that running there on the same box. It is all the responsibility of hypervisors, a software that is running on that particular single physical machine. Got the hypervisor? In hardware and in virtual machine. To create the virtual machine there, in between there is a layer, that is a hypervisor layer, that is totally responsible for this entire virtual environment, also known as VMM, virtual machine monitors. So hypervisor come in two type. Hypervisor come in two type. One is hosted architecture and one is bare metal architecture. Hosted architecture, hypervisor that run on the top of an existing operating system. Got the point? First machine, then one operating system. On that, we install one of the hypervisor. And bare metal architecture is the hypervisor that is directly installed on physical hardware, offering better performance and efficiency. Your base box in hosted, what happened? There is one operating system already in between. Above that, hypervisor. This is the operating system already exists here. Sorry, my writing is very poor. And here we have some hypervisor. But in bare metal architecture, we can install that hypervisor directly on the base machine rather than having an intermediate operating system on that. Let's come more like this. Physical host hardware, then one operating system, okay, and after that, apps. Without virtual machine on one on hardware resources. Here you can see hardware, direct VMM, then guest operating system and app we can install on that. Means we omit here the operating system. Let's try one more diagram here like this. Okay, means why we are using our resources, because this like on one of the base machine here. Just I try to explain one base machine here. We install one of the operating system here. So naturally, this operating system, this is the hardware. I'm taking time for writing. Then operating system. Any of the operating system can be. Even Windows 10, Windows 11 or Windows 8, we need to install here. So naturally, this operating system also consumes some hardware resources. Above that, we install any hypervisor as a app. Above that, we can create virtual machines. So this operating system also consuming our resources. Got my point, now? So in the real production environment, we always prefer to use bare metal architecture. We always prefer to use bare metal architecture like this. Platform means any of the hardware, resources or server. Above that, virtual machine create, and virtualization as the backbone of cloud platform is working here. So virtualization is the backbone. Above that, entire cloud is working. And virtualization, we can say cloud. But in the older time, very older time, when we don't have the cloud concept, even that time in personal data center, or you can say private cloud, till then, there were the virtualization or hypervisor working. As technology keep going increasing, we require more and more machines. Still then, in my personal machines, personal data centers, we use the hypervisor. Technologies keep going day by day. But at the back end, starting from the virtualization, we move toward the cloud. So, already discussed bare metal hypervisor. It is also known as type 1 hypervisor. Directly run on hosted physical hardware. No underlying operating system is required. The hypervisor itself acts as operating system. It only consume the resources. Yes, obviously, it is also operating system, but it only has the feature that it require, not unnecessarily like media players and other softwares. Best for data centers, enterprise environment where performance and security are crucial. Example is VMware ESXi and Microsoft Hyper-V and then Citrix. It is the VMware product. VMware is one of the top company, oldest company that is giving the virtualization product. So for bare metal machine, we use the ESXi. Microsoft give one Hyper-V for the virtualization. And Citrix is also one of the top company, that is a Zen, by the name of Zen. Actually, it is a Citrix. So this is about the type 1 hypervisor. Advantage, already we have discussed, better performance and efficiency, more secure and stable. Because why is it more secure? Because it does not have any unnecessary feature. More the features, more unsecure. And direct access to hardware resources, so naturally it used less resources as compared to second type of hypervisor. But still we discuss about the Hyper-V 2. It's our type 2, that is a hosted hypervisor that we already have discussed. Run on the top of conventional operating system. First, we need to install any conventional operating system, any window, that can be Linux. It totally relies on host operating system to manage the hardware interaction. Best use for the personal use, some testing environment, some development environment, not never recommended for the production environment or enterprise environment. Example is VirtualBox, VMware Workstation, VMware Workstation, VMware Player, Microsoft Hyper-V, and for the Mac parallel desktops. Correct? This is the advantage. Easier to set up and use. Non-production environment. Use host operating system driver for hardware compatibility, etc. So, like we are the who are the freshers can install any of these application in his own operating system, in on desk laptop or desktop. Most common is the VMware player, sorry, Hyper-V or VirtualBox. You can install and start practicing about VMware. So these are the already having discussed. Run on bare Hyper-V type 1, non-operating system, host operating system. Performance is very high. performance is moderate because this is normal. It's totally depend on the base operating system where it is hosted. Use case server data centers. It is for the desktop virtualization, for self practice, or for some testing environment. Secure setup complexity, little complex, but it is very easier. Even you can start using it anytime in your personal laptop also for practicing. Example is VMware, ESXi, KVM, Zen. I already discussed with you virtualware, VMware workstation. Okay, so this is about hypervisor we have discussed. First, we discuss about benefits of virtualization. Before virtualization, what was the loss there or difficult to manage? But after virtualization becomes so easy everything, then we discuss about hypervisor here, type of hypervisor, post type. We discuss everything here. Okay, so this is all about not all. I'm not saying all, but best for the beginners. So thank you very much. See you in the next video with next.